Oh my god. My body feels so awful, but I don't even know what to eat. Babe!
What's up? Are you okay?
No, I'm actually not okay.
What happened?
I don't know. I have a stomach bug or flu or Ebola or something. I don't know. I just feel terrible and I'm so hungry, but I just don't know what to eat.
Oh, you have a fever. Don't you worry because I have just the thing. Just give me a few minutes, okay?
Okay.
Welcome to Sia's Kitchen, where I teach you how to make easy recipes for when you're feeling under the weather. Now let's get started. Today, we're making some oatmeal porridge for this sick man over here, who's also my boyfriend. And not only that, but we're using a recipe from a cookbook published in 1940 called Miss Rohrer's Diet for the Sick. This isn't just your typical recipe. It's a soft, healing meal that tells us a lot about food history and how people used to care for the sick in the past. So why don't we do a little crash course? Come along. Time for our crash course. Sarah Tyson Rohrer was one of America's first dietitians. She wrote this cookbook for moms, daughters, and caregivers. So it's not just for the doctors, but it's for all of us. It was published in 1914 when home was the hospital. Sometimes you wouldn't have access to go to other places, and this is why food history is so important. Kitchens were supposed to be our science labs. And if you didn't already know, she wrote it after feeding sick people for 30 years. Yes, 30 years. So you can definitely trust her with those credentials. The book is divided by illnesses like asthma, anemia, and ulcers, and then by food, specifically food groups, which makes it so easy to read, even if you don't cook. Take it from somebody that barely knows how to make pasta. Some of the things that she recommended, which sounded very appealing to me, are coddled apples, boiled onions. I know, that sounds crazy, but it helps with asthma. The more you know. And beef juice. All these foods are very soft and healing, and as you heard, very easy to make. I don't think anyone would have a problem making boiled onions. Enough of me talking about history. Let's take a quick pause and let me show you how to cook something from her cookbook. Let's go. All you're gonna need for this recipe are 2 ingredients, your oatmeal and water. The chemistry is where we actually have to get specific with it, which comes a little bit later. So first, just get some oatmeal and put however much you want. And I'm just gonna put a half a cup of oatmeal in here. Just like that. You're gonna put 2 cups of water on top of that oatmeal. And I unfortunately don't have a measuring tool, but I can estimate really well with my head. Then in the 1900s, it was really popular to let your oats sit overnight, but in Miss Rohrer's cookbook, she actually cooks it right away. So with the oatmeal and water we have in here, we're gonna get a pot or a pan, you know, whatever you like, and we're gonna get to cooking. Let's go. So we've got my pan here. I'm gonna turn on the stove and just pour it right in. Make sure you get all the oatmeal in there. Really spread it out so that it evenly distributes with the water. It should look something like this. Then we're gonna set it to a low to medium heat. And the chemistry aspect that I was talking about earlier is specifically for this recipe. You're gonna let your oatmeal cook for around 20 to 30 minutes in the low to medium heat setting, and just really stay patient with it. So this has been simmering for around 25 minutes. I'm just gonna give it a little stir. It looks very ooey gooey right now and fluffy, just like how we want it to. We don't want it to be hard because we're serving this for sick people, so we want it to stay soft. And now let's wait another 5 minutes. This recipe was specifically used for fevers and weak digestion. The goal was to give people strength without making their bodies work too hard, especially during that time when there were a lot of political affairs going on. This reminds me of how in Nepali households we make this thing called zaulo, very similar to oatmeal for when our family members or friends are sick, just out of love and care. Both very soft, simple, and nourishing. And with that being said, our oatmeal looks like it's just about done, so we're going to turn off the stove. Let's transfer it onto our bowl. And this is exactly how Miss Rohrer would have served her oatmeal. But unfortunately, my boyfriend is a sweet tooth, so we're going to add some raw agave and some ground cinnamon. Just drizzle a tiny amount and a sprinkle of cinnamon. This just added some warmth and extra comfort to this oatmeal. But again, Miss Rohrer would have probably kept it really simple and skipped adding these extra ingredients to avoid irritating the stomach. This recipe reminds me of how we show care in Nepali homes. We don't just always run to medicine first, which does save a lot of money. We make soft food, warm food, and a lot of simple dishes like Miss Roar's cookbook had. Now let's go give this oatmeal to my boyfriend. Just kidding, let's quickly finish our history lesson that we started earlier. Miss Roar's cookbook is from a time when women were expected to heal with food, from situations like not having enough money or just not having the resources to even get medicine. In our food history class, we read Pilcher's chapter on the industrial kitchen, where he said kitchens were supposed to be like labs, and I think that perfectly intertwines with Miss Roar's cookbook. She gives charts about digestion and makes recipes that are like food prescriptions, which is very impressive. And another reading that really connected for me was DeWall's work on hunger. He said that food insecurity was about systems of care, and in Miss Roar's cookbook, gentle foods meant keeping the body free of stress and other strenuous emotions, especially during a time when people were very afraid of getting sick with illnesses. And Carlson says that even today, 3 billion people don't have access to enough food. Miss Roar's cookbook assumes you have access to things like eggs, milk, and someone to cook for you, as this cookbook was written around the time where a traditional family was very looked up upon. And that also shows us how much class mattered, even if it's something as simple as oatmeal. If you don't have somebody to cook it for you and you're bedridden, then you don't really have a choice. But thank God my boyfriend has me, so let's actually go give him his oatmeal. Let's go. Hey!
What's this?
Oatmeal porridge, 1914 style.
Is that for me?
Yes, of course. Get up.
Okay. Wait, something's happening to me. I feel so much better. Babe, come here. What did you put in this?
Okay, oatmeal doesn't actually cure cold, but this scene shows something very, very important, which is that food can make you feel emotions. And in his case, it made him feel safe. It's a way of caring, and for women like Roar, especially in those years, it was the main way they could help. This cookbook showed me that soft food isn't weak. It's strong and it's all about intention. Doing this project helped me see that cookbooks aren't just about food, they're about history, about who gets to care, about what people believed about bodies, gender, and health. So, what do you rate it?
10 out of 10 would eat again. Thank you, Chef.
And thank you for being my patient.
Of course.
Thanks for watching Serving with Suya, and remember, food can be medicine too. Bye!